What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yomas, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, the new gameplay trailer just released. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about that, sharing my thoughts on what I saw in the game, as well as some controversies, ever since the first cinematic trailer came out. So anyways, let's not waste any time, let's get straight into the video. Now, the gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows released a few days ago, and I watched it, and basically I just wanted to share my thoughts on it and what I liked. So I'm first going to talk about the combat with Yasuke, and then get into the combat and stealth and gameplay with Naoe, and then go into the controversies that's been going on ever since the game was first revealed and leaked, as well as with the gameplay trailer. Some people have been complaining a bit about Yasuke. I'm sure you guys have seen it on the internet, but yeah, we're just gonna start off with the gameplay and what on my thoughts on it. So yeah, now first thing in the trailer, I have to say, as usual with Assassin's Creed, the newer games, like the world obviously looks really good. Ubisoft do a really good job with making the worlds look very beautiful. It's just really amazing. Assassin's Creed Shadows is set in feudal Japan, and yeah, I mean, it looks really good on the trailer, but obviously with YouTube like downgrading the quality, it's gonna look better in the game. But yeah, the world looks really good. Yasuke is honestly just huge. And now getting into the gameplay, you have some heavy attacks, and something really interesting that I saw in the game is the combat. Now this is something that I was really surprised with. Now with Assassin's Creed Shadows, based on the trailer, we're gonna be having this, like, different weapons, some heavy attacks, a heavy weapon, and then with the katana, for some light attacks and faster attacks with Yasuke. And honestly, I mean, I am pretty impressed. I'm getting into it. You can see, with the destructible objects that's going around everywhere with Yasuke's heavy attacks. And honestly, dude, this guy is just incredible. He is a powerhouse, just knocking out enemies and breaking their armor. Really awesome stuff. I'm definitely going to be playing with the katana more often, but one thing that really stuck out to me was with the stances. Now there's going to be like different stances, and basically it's going to be like a rock paper scissors thing, where there's going to be stronger stances and weaker stances. So yeah, that is really nice. I did hear that is from Ghost of Tsushima, so it's nice to see, they're like basically implementing that into Assassin's Creed with the different stances and katana and takedowns. But yeah, the heavy attacks look very brutal. It's really nice to see. The combat does look very interesting with Yasuke with his katana. You're gonna be dodging and blocking and countering with the katana, which looks very nice. One thing I was definitely skeptical about back when before the gameplay trailer released was basically how the armor is going to work. And instead of attacking enemies and then showing how much damage you got on them, it's not that in Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I really like. You can take them out very quickly, instead of like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey you're fighting hordes of enemies, and it's just really grindy. With this combat in the trailer, it looks like it's going to be like really quick, especially with the katana and his heavier weapon, and it just looks very nice. You can also see he's breaking off their armor really good. And another thing that we saw in the gameplay trailer was the destructible objects. Now this looks very good. With the destructible objects, you can slice things up with your katana and break things. We also saw in the trailer there was sort of a Spartan kick, which if you guys played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you guys know that's basically the Spartan kick. Yasuke kicks this other samurai into the stuff, and then everything just breaks. Really nice. I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. And yeah, I mean, Yasuke's combat does look very good. Very light and quick attacks with the katana, different stances that were in Ghost of Tsushima. You're going to be parrying and dodging. You can even stun enemies based on what we've seen in the gameplay trailer. So that is very nice with Yasuke. Looking forward to it, and it looks very good. Now moving on to Naoe, who is going to be the stealthier approach into the game. Ubisoft have introduced some new mechanics and some new things for stealth and assassinations that honestly just look really good in the gameplay. So yeah, Naoe is a shinobi, so she's definitely going to be more skilled at assassinations and stealth and parkour. She's definitely going to be lighter and faster, especially we've seen this in the gameplay trailer. And you know, a lot of things look really good. She definitely seems like the more dynamic character other than Yasuke. Definitely has a lot more weapons and basically more dynamic with the combat and stealth and assassinations. So yeah, now in the trailer we did see, you know, there is a grappling hook for Naoe, which is going to be more physics based, and that looks really cool. You can see in the gameplay trailer she uses the grappling hook and basically transitions into a backflip and assassinates someone, which just looks really cool. In the gameplay trailer we did see some really nice assassinations with Naoe, and I'm just really excited to play as her. She's definitely more lighter and faster with the assassinations, and honestly it just looks really cool. We also see her in the trailer use the Kusarigama to assassinate someone. And yeah, I mean, the gameplay trailer for Naoe, I mean, when we saw Naoe, it was just really good and really cool. And with these stealth, you know, things that Ubisoft are introducing, it's just really nice. You can hide in these shadows, and basically, you know, like in the title of the game, shadows, hiding in these shadows, and basically very dynamic stealth system. You can take out lanterns, different light sources, so that you don't get spotted by enemies. And yeah, it's very interesting. This is also an Assassin's Creed game where you can snap into cover, and we haven't really seen this in a lot of Assassin's Creed games. It is an Assassin's Creed Syndicate to some extent, but yeah, really interesting. It's also the first Assassin's Creed game where you can actually go prone, and it is really nice. You know, you see her crawling in the grass, and it is really interesting to see this, and the game does look promising. We've heard and seen things in the trailer that just look really good. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to have a dynamic weather system, so basically in the rain it's going to be harder for enemies to spot you and also hear your footsteps, which sounds really interesting. I can't wait to see this in the actual game. It'll also change the way you play the game with stealth. For example, when it's winter, you won't be able to go under, you know, in the pond or the river. You won't be able to like sneak under and prone. So you'll basically have to approach, you know, the mission in a different way, which honestly is really interesting, and yeah, pretty cool to see that in the game. Now, in the gameplay trailer, we didn't see a lot of parkour and, you know, parkour and stuff, which, if you guys know, I'm a big fan of parkour, especially in the Ubisoft games. But in the trailer, we didn't really see much. We did see Naoe, you know, do some flips and all that stuff with the grappling hook, but we didn't see a lot of parkour. I'm sure in the future we'll definitely see more of it, but, you know, who knows? It's not really the main thing I'm looking forward to this game. I'm really looking forward to the stealth, because in the trailer, you know, it looked really good and dynamic, you know, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. But so far the game is looking promising with all the things that we've seen, the different stances and positions with Yasuke and his katana. It is looking very interesting, you know. I definitely feel like Naoe, I'm definitely going to play a little bit more of Naoe, because, you know, she does seem like the more dynamic character. Different varieties with stealth, her Kusarigama, the shurikens, and the kunais. You know, I'll probably mostly play more as Naoe than Yasuke. But, you know, who knows? I'm definitely looking forward to the combat with Yasuke, because, you know, with the different stances and pairing with his katana, as well as just the fact that his, you know, finishers are really brutal, and especially with these heavy attacks. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows is looking very promising. We've seen some things that Ubisoft haven't really done in a while, introducing some new things such as going prone with Naoe. And yeah, I mean, it looks very interesting. And Naoe she's a shinobi, so we're gonna be using her for stealth, whereas Yasuke, he can do stealth. You know, Ubisoft have said, and we have seen that he can do stealth, but due to his armor, you know, enemies are going to be able to hear her more. He's going to be slower. But yeah, you know, so far the game is looking promising. I was a bit skeptical of it before, but now that we've seen the gameplay trailer with the destructible objects, the stances, and the unique stealth system and weather system, I'm sort of looking forward to the game. Now, getting into the last thing about the video regarding the controversy over Yasuke, if you've been on the internet, you definitely seen, a lot of people basically sharing their opinions and thoughts on Yasuke and Assassin's Creed Shadows because the game is set in Japan and a lot of people have been looking forward to this, with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Finally, an Assassin's Creed game that's set in Japan. But, if a game is set in Japan, you are most likely going to expect a Japanese protagonist. But when we got the reveal trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, a lot of people were shocked to find out that we are going to be playing as Yasuke, who is black. And, I can sort of see why some people are upset with this because the game is set in Japan and obviously you would want the main character to represent it. You would want a Japanese protagonist instead of Yasuke, who is black, and the game is set in Japan. So yeah, I can definitely see why a lot of people are upset. If an Assassin's Creed game was set in Africa, I would want a black person to represent that game because it's set in Africa. And yeah, a lot of people are really sharing their opinions and thoughts on this. And honestly, for me, I feel like Ubisoft, this was definitely not necessary. We can definitely see what Ubisoft is trying to do, in the gameplay trailer. When we see Yasuke playing, when we see Yasuke in the background, if you're listening, you could definitely hear some hip-hop beats going on. So we can see what Ubisoft are doing over here. We can see, Yasuke's black. Let's put some hip-hop music in the background. Like, we can see it. And honestly, I definitely feel like this wasn't really necessary. Ubisoft didn't have to do this, but they had to do it anyways because with Ubisoft, and people have been sharing their thoughts and opinions. And for me, personally, I don't really think it's as big as people make it to seem. Because yes, it isn't fair, the game is set in Japan and you would want a Japanese protagonist to represent the game. But at the same time, it's not as big as some people make it to seem. Basically, Ubisoft is going woke and this is ruining gaming and all that stuff, which to some extent, it does have a part in it with ruining gaming. But for me personally, I don't really think it matters who you're playing as, as long as the game is fun and the story is well written and it isn't mediocre. I feel like that's what's important with games. And some people have been going on about Yasuke wasn't a samurai, and some other people are saying Yasuke was a samurai, and then all of this and this. But for me, Assassin's Creed isn't really historically accurate to begin with. I mean, this game is made by the same people who in Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, literally Medusa is in that game. We have different Greek gods. There's even minotaurs, and there's Assassin's Creed Shadows is made by the same people who made Odyssey. And if you've played Odyssey, some wild things happen in that game. So yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed was never historically accurate to begin with. For me, a lot of people have been going on that this is ruining gaming or wokeness and all that. And I mean, they sort of have a point, it is, gaming is getting ruined, but that is only the part of it. For me personally, I feel like the main thing that's going to ruin gaming and destroy it is the fact that most games that release nowadays are unfinished or just flat out boring. And AAA studios just think we're gonna purchase the game even though it's really boring. Some of them have bugs, and honestly, that's for me, the part that's really ruining gaming. The fact that Ubisoft are getting away with these gold editions, ultimate editions, hiding certain stuff behind a paywall. And the game, the Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to release on November 15, but if you pre-order the game, you get it, 3 days earlier, which basically means if you don't pre-order the game for extra money, you're going to be playing the game later. This is the stuff that's ruining gaming for me personally, in my opinion. This is the stuff we should be criticizing Ubisoft about. This is the stuff we should really be giving Ubisoft backlash about and other game studios about. Unfinished games, hiding certain stuff behind a paywall, having battle passes in games that you bought with your own money, having season passes and different cosmetics in a game that you already purchased. For me personally, that's what's ruining gaming. Not the fact that this person's black or this person's a woman or all that. Yes, it's upsetting that we don't get a Japanese protagonist even though the game is set in Japan, but it's not the main thing. Assassin's Creed was never historically accurate to begin with in the first place. And the first thing you see when you play an Assassin's Creed game is this is fiction. None of it is real, these are stories that were written and it's all fiction. None of it is real. So yes, I can sort of see where they're heading with it, but it's not a huge thing. Honestly, for me, I couldn't really care less who I'm playing as long as the game is really good, it's really fun, has a well-written story and a good combat system. It's an A in my book, That's what I really care about Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed Shadows. I really couldn't care less who I was playing as or something, as long as the game is good. And let's be honest, most likely with Assassin's Creed Shadows, the game is going to end up being mediocre, but I want Ubisoft to surprise me. I want this game to be good, I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Mirage, but it wasn't this huge thing that I was expecting it to be, so maybe they'll surprise us or something. I'm not defending this game or anything. Most likely it's gonna end up being bad, with Ubisoft's recent track record and the fact that we're not able to own our games even though we purchased them. This is the stuff we should be backlashing Ubisoft for. So yeah, that's my thought on everything, with the gameplay, the controversy. That's just my thoughts. You guys can share your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you agree or disagree. I don't even know if I'm gonna purchase the game, to be honest. We can never be sure with Ubisoft how things are going to go, whether the game ends up being good or it ends up being terrible. One thing that I'm going to try, and I did this with Assassin's Creed Mirage, I'm probably just gonna get the Ubisoft subscription. Now I know the Ubisoft subscription, Ubisoft Plus, is pretty bad, but I'm just gonna get the subscription, play the game for a month, and choose whether I actually want to purchase the game or not. If you're not sure about the game, I definitely recommend doing this as well. Instead of buying the game for like 1,000 rand or 2,000 rand or $70 if you're in the US, just get the subscription, play it for a month, and if you really think it's pretty good, then purchase the game. That's what I'm gonna do, but it is your money, so you can choose what you do. That's just what I'm gonna do. But yeah, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below if you enjoyed the trailer, what you're expecting to see next with Assassin's Creed. But yeah, that's it from me. I'm Dio Meister, and I'll see you guys next time.